Xin chào and welcome to ASEAN Today. I'm Hoai Luong from Vietnam Television in Hanoi.
Selamat berjumpa lagi. I'm Raissa Chentami of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta, and this is your weekly look at the dynamic Southeast Asia region. A global superpower made a powerful statement against an ASEAN member country. The United States formally accused Myanmar of committing genocide against its minority Rohingya population. Violence in Myanmar's Rakhine state against the mostly Muslim Rohingyas peaked in August 2017 with a campaign of mass rape, burnings, and drownings. More than 9,000 people were killed and nearly 1 million were forced to leave the country. This was the 8th time that the United States has issued a formal genocide declaration. Canada, France, Turkey, and other American allies had already declared the 2017 rampage to be genocide. Myanmar generals led by Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing seized power after complaining of fraud in a November 2020 general election. We'll have more on this story later in the program. A strong earthquake shook several parts of the region on March 14th, rattling buildings and sending panicked residents into the streets. Here in Indonesia, the 6.7 magnitude earthquake hit at a depth of 21 kilometers, with its epicenter 167 kilometers west of the coastal city of Pariaman. The tremor was followed by a series of strong aftershocks, including another earthquake that shook Manila with a magnitude of 6.4. Officials in both countries said there was no tsunami threat from either quake. Both Indonesia and the Philippines sit on the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Two ASEAN leaders met here in Hanoi for 2 days of high-level talks from March the 21st. Malaysian Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob called on Vietnamese counterpart Pham Minh Chinh to affirm their commitment to not only promote bilateral ties but also people-to-people relations. The leaders agreed to increase exchange of high-ranking delegations at all levels to optimize cooperation. They also emphasized the importance of steadily promoting strong, balanced and sustainable two-way trade with a target of $18 billion by 2025.
Presidential hopefuls in the Philippines took part in the campaign's first presidential debate, battling over pandemic controls, economic recovery, and infrastructure construction. 9 of the 10 candidates took part in the debate, including current Vice President Leni Robredo and boxing champion Manny Pacquiao. Front-runner Ferdinand Marcos Jr. skipped this debate on February 26th, citing a schedule conflict. Opponents criticized his absence. National elections are scheduled for May 9th. 2 more debates are planned before the voting.
Also in the Philippines, severe flooding left some parts of the country inaccessible. Heavy rains across the country caused rivers to overflow, destroying bridges, driving hundreds of families to evacuation centers on March the 7th. In Iligan City, more than 1,100 families from 8 villages were displaced. At least 6 homes were washed away by floodwaters and several others were damaged. In Davao City, continuous rain displaced 2,600 families in 14 villages. After 2 years of pandemic lockdowns and several COVID-19 variants, Southeast Asia is reopening borders to international travel.
Governments in the region are beginning to shift their policies to treating COVID-19 as endemic. Here in Indonesia, the quarantine requirement for international travelers was dropped for those fully vaccinated from March 22nd. The new regulation came after the success of a quarantine-free trial in Bali, Batam, and Bintan. Arrivals must only take a PCR test upon entry. Indonesia has also expanded its visa on arrival policy to cover travelers from 55 countries. Thailand will lift all pre-arrival testing requirements for vaccinated travelers from April 1st. Previously, travelers had to be vaccinated and show proof of a negative COVID-19 PCR test taken within 72 hours of travel. Also, starting on April 1st, the Philippines will allow travelers from 157 countries to enter without a visa and increase scheduled flights by more than 50%. And with a vaccination rate of more than 90%, Cambodia welcomed back international travelers from November 2021. And in January, it launched its Cambodia Safe and Green Tourism Destination campaign to encourage travelers to return.
Vietnam has fully reopened to international travelers since March the 15th. The country imposed one of the world's strictest border controls at the onset of the pandemic. Vietnam allowed foreign tourists to visit designated spots through a vaccine passport program starting in November 2021. But these marks when the country fully reopened to unrestricted travel. Myanmar will resume international passenger flights on April the 17th, lifting a 2-year ban on foreign tourists. Visitors will be required to quarantine for a week, undergo 2 PCR tests, and must be fully vaccinated. Malaysia will allow all fully vaccinated foreign tourists to enter the country without quarantine requirements from April the 1st.
Indonesia's tallest building has now topped out, perhaps signaling better times for the country's property market. The 383-meter autograph tower redefines Jakarta's skyline, as ASEAN Today's Karina Tasha reports.
Tamrin 9 is a mixed-use development complex in the heart of the capital. It covers an area of approximately 570,000 square meters with office, retail, residential, hotels, sports, and entertainment facilities. Its centerpiece, the Autograph Tower, is the tallest building in the southern hemisphere. The new landmark officially took Indonesia's tallest title from the Gama Tower in Kuningan.
We didn't set out to be the tallest. I mean, the tallest meant to be Pertamina building, but we are in a TOD area, transport-orientated destination area, and we are allowed to have a maximum height of 385. And so we just fulfilled that requirement.
Autograph Tower is directly connected to the Mass Rapid Transit, or MRT, and a Trans-Jakarta bus station. It is also accessible via the commuter line and rail link to Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. The project came in at 8 trillion rupiah, or $560 million, after an adjustment following the COVID-19 pandemic. Funding of the tower came from various sources, ranging from bank loans to foreign direct investments from Singapore, China, and Brunei.
I think the pandemic actually stretches out the construction by a longer period of time. So definitely cost of construction has gone up significantly. I mean, fuel prices, steel prices, all have gone up. And because of a lot of people getting sick, actually containers and shipping is also slowed down.
In early 2021, property sector players were in a holding pattern, waiting to see how seriously the government would be in confronting COVID-19. Vaccination programs then commenced with a focus on medical personnel and frontline workers first. At that point, government support for the property market was being discussed but still uncertain. Once government stimulus programs were implemented, the market turned around, and after 2 years of negative growth, Jakarta and East Java provinces led a rebound.
We're expecting sales to be slightly better than last year. So I think we're hoping to probably hit about 700 M this year. We're hoping that COVID would be relaxed and it would fade away probably in June. So generally, that's slightly above average sales for us. With inflation and hopefully with a new omnibus law which is favorable for foreign investments, I think property prices would be up minimum about 10 to 20% by next year.
Autograph Tower will function primarily as an office structure, but will feature an observation tower and sky garden along the 6-star Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
We want people to be able to come in, to enjoy the building. We have the fastest lifts in Indonesia, so we want people to use it. I think we are generally a very inclusive development. We don't want it to be exclusive. We want everybody to join in, and we want Autograph to be the people's building.
The Autograph Tower is at ranked 86th on the world's highest buildings, right above New York's famous Empire State Building. Karina Tasha for ASEAN Today, Jakarta.
More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
ASEAN leaders join global partners in addressing the war in Ukraine. That is next.
Makin pede sama Tede, karena Tede terampil digital, karena Tede terampil digital. Bersama dengan kami, komputer makin bisa dikuasai.
saya ingin mengumumkan kerjasama dengan The Indonesia Channel. Saya mendorong semua entitas untuk bergabung dalam upaya ini dengan mempromosikan produk dan layanan mereka di platform digital yang unik ini.
I love Indonesia. I love the food. Yummy. Wow. I'm gonna hunt for ingredients. Now I'm ready to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. It's done. Let's meet to eat.
Foodiepedia on the Indonesia Channel.
Kamu sering lupa mematikan lampu shade. SDP solusinya. SDP merupakan modul dengan teknologi mikroprosesor yang dapat diaplikasikan di semua motor dengan fungsi pembatal sein otomatis setelah berbelok. Jadi tidak perlu khawatir lagi ketika lupa mematikan sein. Untuk keselamatan berkendara, pasang SDP di motormu sekarang.
I'm Nguyen, a visitor net Viet in Hanoi.
I'm Thairat Thomya of Thailand's Thairat TV in Bangkok.
I'm Monica Sambodet from the National Television of Cambodia in Phnom Penh.
I'm Raymond Go of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm Glenda Chong of Singapore's Channel News Asia.
I'm Raissa Chentami of the Indonesia channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
This is your weekly look into the dynamic Southeast Asia region.
ASEAN Today on the Indonesia Channel.
The Best of Bali takes viewers on a special guided tour to the treasures of the Island of the Gods.
The romantic dinner is beautiful.
The Best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You are watching ASEAN Today. I'm Hoai Luong from Vietnam Television in Hanoi.
And I'm Raissa Chentami in Jakarta. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has killed thousands of people, displaced millions of Ukrainians, and devastated cities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for international solidarity against the war. Russia's leader is resolute. Here are leaders in the hot seat.
I'm ready for negotiations with him. I was ready over the last 2 years. And I think that without negotiations, we cannot end this war. I think that all the people who think that this dialogue is shallow and that it is not going to resolve anything, they just don't understand that this is very valuable. If there is just 1% chance for us to stop this war, I think that we need to take this chance. We need to do that.
The United States is committed to provide over $2 billion in military equipment to Ukraine since I became president. Anti-air systems, anti-armor systems, ammunition, and our weapons are flowing into Ukraine as I speak. And today, I'm announcing the United States is prepared to commit more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance to help get relief to millions of Ukrainians affected by the war in Ukraine.
In concert with our allies, we will agree a massive package of economic sanctions designed in time to hobble the Russian economy. President Putin of Russia has unleashed war in our European continent. He's attacked a friendly country without any provocation and without any credible excuse. Innumerable missiles and bombs have been raining down on an entirely innocent population. A vast invasion is underway, by land, by sea, and by air.
Ce choix délibéré, qui contrevient à tous les engagements pris par les autorités russes, est une violation de la Charte des Nations Unies et des principes fondateurs de l'ordre européen et international.
Rusya'nın bugün erken saatlerde Ukrayna topraklarına başlattığı askeri harekatı kabul edilemez bulduğumuzu ve reddettiğimizi belirterek başlamak istiyorum.
And if by
unfortunate chance, perchance, talagang maipit si Putin at tusukin niya yung pula na botones, wala na. Then, my thinking is, pag magganon yan, ang China will invade.
The United Nations says more than 3.5 million Ukrainians have now left the country. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
Tourism leaders say it is still more fun in the Philippines. That is next.
Produk lokal memang handal, kreasi lokal memang spesial. Ayo beli buatan negeri, bangga sekali produk sendiri. Dari busana sampai kria, kuliner juga buatan kita. Ayo beli kreatif lokal, marilah beli produk kreatif lokal. Berjuang negeri, beli kreatif lokal, banggalah beli produk kreatif lokal.
I'm Caitlin Turner, and welcome to Yoga Bliss. Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose.
Roll your knee out and up to the sky, breathing here.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel.
It's your girl, Aijina Glenda,
And you are watching
iPop Playlist.
Kau datang di hidupku, terus berlari.
We play Indonesia's best music videos.
Kau goreskan warna baru dalam lembaran hidupku. Sanggupkah kau berjanji maafkan diriku?
Asia Channel.
This is ASEAN Today.
And we are coming to you this week from Jakarta and Hanoi. The United States has formally declared Myanmar's repression of the Muslim Rohingya population as genocide and a crime against humanity that brought hope to many who felt the impact of the violent government campaign, as ASEAN Today's Fazun Azim reports.
Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh welcome Washington's declaration that the violent repressions of largely Muslim Rohingya population in Myanmar amounted to genocide. The news of the announcement by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken quickly spread across the sprawling camps in Cox's Bazar district. That are now home to about 1 million Rohingyas. Many residents expressed relief.
Genocide alam gejadian mada ara beshi khushi beshi shukriya ara bahut bochor por sai ashilam yanore asha kore ashilam hope kore ashilam deria kela bole hole বর্মা গভর্নমেন্ট আর জ্বালাদা যে 60 বছর 1962 to শুরু করে রোহিঙ্গারে সহ আরো অন্য কমরিও জ্বালাদ দে ফুরাদ দে বেশি আল্লাহ বলে আর জেনোসাইড ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ দিয়ান খুশি
The United States made the determination to call the repression a genocide based on confirmed accounts of mass atrocities on civilians by Myanmar's military in a widespread and systematic campaign against the Rohingya.
It was a long time coming, and it should have happened before, but we're very happy that it has in fact occurred. We're pleased that the government has finally looked at all the facts and come out with the right determination that in fact a genocide did in fact take place against the Rohingya. It is, a call for action now.
Genocide along governor for the international society to Burma action level of Garasa Kulibuli on a gorilla. And the international society to the Guna Sad Diri. And the Rohingya saw Burma Madaro minority which has a Zulum Satung Haderia. The Guna to Sad Diri as a Burma action law Guzir.
More than 700,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled from Buddhist majority Myanmar to refugee camps in Bangladesh since August 2017. That's when Myanmar's military launched an operation aimed at clearing them from the countries following attacks by rebel groups. Myanmar's military government has already been sued in the International Court of Justice on genocide charges. Leaders said they categorically reject the US declaration. Analysts say the declaration is a positive step, but it would be important to see what actions come now.
The United States has realized now that some genocide has taken place in Myanmar. It's a positive step, but we still have to wait as to what would follow from it. Just by saying that genocide has been committed in Myanmar against the Rohingyas is not good enough. I think we need to see what would follow from that statement.
The government of Myanmar is under multiple sanctions since a military coup ousted the democratically elected government in February 2021. For refugees like Salahuddin, every bit of outside support gives them hope of returning to peaceful lives. Fawzul Azim for ASEAN Today.
Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. Muslims across the world will observe the holy month of Ramadan from April 2nd to May 3rd. The Singapore Rugby Sevens will kick off from April 9th to the 10th in Singapore. And the Thai New Year Water Festival will take place from April 13th to the 15th in Songkran, Thailand. It's home to wide sandy beaches, famous diving spots, lively entertainment, and unique wildlife. And now tourists can re-enter the Philippines after nearly 2 years of pandemic border closure. ASEAN Today's Aisha Nadira has the story.
The Philippines is welcoming a rebound of tourism with increasing arrivals since the country eased travel restrictions amid a slowdown in coronavirus cases. The destination, known for pristine white beaches, allowed fully vaccinated foreign nationals to enter from February. Since then, more than 100,000 international tourists have arrived in the Philippines.
I go to visit for first Manila, and after we go to the south, maybe Palawan, maybe Cebu, the island, very, very beautiful.
They gave me a tourist visa for 30 days. So I'll stay in Cavite, planning to visit Batangas, Tagaytay, and have some leisure moment. I missed Philippines, actually.
38 regions, including the country's capital city Manila, have lowered the pandemic alert level to the lowest, under which all business facilities are allowed to open.
All foreign tourists who enter the country, of course, they are fully vaccinated, are allowed to go around all the reopened tourist destinations. Since the cases in the Philippines are continually declining, and we are now in the lowest alert level, which is alert level 1, so travel restrictions have been eased.
More than 600 representatives will attend the Global Summit of the World Travel and Tourism Council scheduled here for April 20th to the 22nd Industry leaders say the timing is perfect to showcase the country's sparkling attractions. Aisha Nadira for ASEAN Today.
We would like hearing from you throughout the ASEAN region and the world. Palm Tree posted these on our YouTube page. In the next 10 to 15 years, the Malaysian peninsula will see typhoons reaching its shore due to climate change. All of our episodes are posted on YouTube, so check us out there if you cannot find us on your local TV channel. Then let us know what you are thinking or what you want to see on the program. Email us at ASEANTodayTV@gmail.com, post something on our Facebook page, or tweet us at ASEAN Today TV. It took an emergency resurfing and a rain stopper, but the return of motorcycle racing in Indonesia was a success.
This was the first MotoGP event here in Indonesia in 25 years. Before the race, this local stopper was called in to help conditions. Then Portugal's Miguel Oliveira put on a blazing show to claim victory in the March 20 conclusion. Reigning world champion Fabio Quartararo took second for his first podium of the season, ahead of compatriot Johan Zarco in third. Pre-race favorite Marc Marquez had a scary crash in warm-ups and was forced to miss the race due to concussion, but he was okay. And that's ASEAN Today for this week. I'm Raissa Chentami of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta.
And I'm Hoai from Vietnam Television in Hanoi. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please join us again next time.